What if the greatest framework for your success came from the lowest point in your career? Toby Daniels was told, "You're not the right fit." And instead of folding, he built something that now fits every room he walks into.
I sat there and I came up with an acronym: persistence, resilience,
Mhm.
integrity, consistency, and education.
From Brooklyn to San Diego, from engineer to author. This is a story about betting on yourself, building frameworks that last, and finding your purpose through the pain.
But we're scared to go after what it is we want, that new position, or make a change. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not being respected at the corporation, leave.
This isn't just inspiration, this is strategy. This is Wins and Lessons. And today, we're talking to the man behind the price principle himself, Toby Daniel. Let's get into it.
All right, so on this episode of the Wins and Lessons podcast, where we believe there are no losses in life, only lessons, we have the great author Toby Daniels in the house, man. This is honor. I met you at a cigar lounge, right?
Yep.
First of all, let me tell you something. You want to meet great people, go to cigar lounges.
Absolutely.
I don't care what nobody says. Go to cigar
Absolutely.
lounges. And we met at a cigar lounge. We started talking. Actually bought me a drink, and I told you the story about the drink afterwards, but you bought me the drink, and I'm like, all right, this is dope. We started talking. You said, I got a book. And before you finish your sentence about your book, I ordered 2 copies on Amazon. Like,
Thank
oh,
you for
here's
that. Thank you for
confirmation. And I read your book when I had to fly for work. And I was like, yo, I can't believe I know somebody who wrote something like this. It was like really moving. Really moving. But I in this conversation, I don't really want to talk about the book too much because in the book, you don't really talk about how you got to where you're at. Or you talk about a little bit at the end, but you don't talk about too much of how you got to where you're at when you coming up with the price principle. So I want to discuss the price principle, and I also want people to know what is the acronym for the price principle, how you come up with that.
Yeah. So again, thank you. And it was a pleasure meeting you. What was
Yes.
the drink? What was the drink that I bought?
It was
the
an old-fashioned
Old-fashioned?
espresso. And that,
Yeah,
I mean,
that was good.
I'm very sensitive to caffeine, and I was wired, and I was like, I don't know. I think I probably shot like 2 videos that night, and I probably went to like work extra things and start writing some stuff for work. I'm like, I had a lot going on that night because of you. Yeah, so I appreciate
My
that.
bad, but you're welcome at the same time. The price principle came about 2006.
Okay.
And, just to give you a little bit of background, growing up, I lacked confidence, a lot of self-doubt in myself and things of that nature, just environment and things like that.
Yeah.
Long story short, military, high school military, got out of military, went on to move to California from Brooklyn, New York to California to go to college.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that I noticed in myself was I always aspired for more. Right? I just wanted more. I just didn't know how to get it. I didn't have no one that gave me any clear direction. But I knew I needed an education. And engineering was something that was instilled in me in the military. It's like, this is where the money is. So I did it. Becoming an engineer is very competitive, as you're well aware.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what you do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found was, as a traditional support engineer, I was like, sometimes these projects just get mundane. You're working in these corporations, and it's just like you're chasing your tail.
Yeah.
I wanted more. That ambition, right?
Yeah.
I aspired for more. And, I remember at a company here, local in Atlanta, I had applied for a job and internal to the company, a management role, and I didn't get it. And the reasons that the manager gave me really shocked me. And it upset me, and I was pissed off. My emotions got in the way.
So look, what were some of the reasons he gave you, if you don't mind sharing?
He needed to know more about me.
Okay.
I said, I work here. You got all the references right here. What do you need to know? Well, let me see your work. Well, you can see my work. This is the project. They were launching a new technology, DOCSIS set-top gateway. This is when the triple play for cable companies was becoming a thing.
Okay,
I worked on that. I championed the product. And, that bothered me. And he went with an outside candidate who he knew nothing more but his resume and what that man told him. So it frustrated me. Nevertheless, met with one of the vendors, and they had been recruiting me for a long time for a solution sales engineering role for this company.
Mm-hmm.
Applied, got the job.
Wow.
Training, fast forwarding, got the training. First remote role as an engineer. So I'm working from home, had to travel. I had 2 accounts, Comcast Northeast, Southeast, and also for Time Warner before the acquisition.
Yeah.
And I remember after my training, I was sitting home and I was like, and I listened to motivational speakers all the time. And I said, man, they always talk about you got to pay the price, got to pay the price.
Yeah.
I know people that work hard all day life and it don't amount to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What does that price mean though?
Yeah.
What does that price mean? Does the price mean working hard?
I mean, what they say is kind of vague at times.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if you're somebody say, oh, I got to pay the price, and you got people that think they just got to hustle, it's more to it than that for me.
Yeah.
So I sat there, and this was all ordained by God. Honestly, it was all ordained. I sat there, I said, what does price mean for me, right? Because I wanted to be successful in this role. Because as part of a sales engineer, you're partnered with an account manager, and you got to go present the technology.
Right.
You're well aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I came up with an acronym: persistence, resilience, integrity, consistency, and education. And it meant more to me, not just about being a sales engineer, but it was who I was. It was all of me. But when I started writing the book, fast forwarding, well, let me give you this part of the story. The framework worked for me.
Yeah.
In 9 months, sold 24 million in the Southeast, was promoted to director, managing 13 international engineers.
Wow.
And they was all asking me, how did you do it? How did you do it? So I started presenting price in my team updates and team trainings and things like that. And, when I started writing it, it was more like self-centered, if you will. I said, I want this, as I started evolving in my thoughts and things that I was going through, I wanted it to be of value to someone else that was reading it. So I wanted to seem like I was teaching.
Right.
So long answer to your question, but that's where it came from. It came from me getting into the role as a sales engineer, utilizing the framework, the price principle framework, to go from engineer, individual contributor to director, managing 13 people. And ever since then, I've applied it in every aspect of my life. Yeah. And it has done tremendously well for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to blow smoke, but I read your book on the plane, got off the plane, had to get in my rental. I was driving to the hotel, and I start using the price principle like on the next phone call I was on. And I'm like, oh, wow, it's like a light bulb moment. Like, damn, that was really that quick. I didn't even finish the book. I was just using I made myself to maybe principle number 8. And I was like, damn, I'm already using this in real life. And I'm like, I don't know. When I read it, I was really amazed that you really put this together. And it came from, I guess, one manager not seeing the greatness in you. And then you start developing that and making that into something. And voila, here we are, the price principle.
Yeah. I'm thankful for every experience of my life that has allowed me to come up with this piece of work. I think, for me, when we think about our purpose, we all, I know for me, I do introspection a lot. Like, what can I do better? How can I be better? And I'm always, every year, every day, I'm always trying to be fine-tuning myself. But I know I'm here to make someone else's life, outside of my kids and things like that in my life, but outside of them, to make somebody else's life better.
Yeah.
And that's where the price principle coaching framework, which is, as I told you when we met, it has been developed. The framework is in place. And if I give you a little bit about why I feel this framework is going to be so effective in helping individuals, corporations, actually was approached by junior college. I can't say nothing because I don't have an NDA yet.
Okay.
But the professor read the book and he was like, I want you to come and speak about this.
Wow.
And I was like, shocked.
Yeah.
If you think about coaching for a second, there's 3 different types. You got purpose-driven coaching. You got positive psychological coaching. And then you got, what's her name? Carol Dweck's positive intelligence coaching. Big on neuroscience, subconscious thinking, and things like that, programming of your mind. If you delve into any one of those coaching, like growing up, because of my self-doubt and lack of confidence issues in myself, I went through the positive psychological. Right? Setting goals, mindset, meaning making, right? That helped me with that, right? Price Principle combines each part of those three coaching programs, if you will. So that's why I was like, wow, this is really effective and it can help somebody. So we got two parts of the program. One is, somebody might just want to buy the book, get the workbook, and get, 1 hour coaching with me just to talk about, whatever it is that they're aspiring to do, whether it's growth in their career, entrepreneurship, money, investing, whatever it may be.
So that comes with, so you bought a book, you get 1 hour with you, or that's like a whole package you got?
It's a package. You get the, it's coaching. Some people may not need it, right? They might just say, hey, I just want to figure out if I'm going down the right road. I read your book. I got the workbook. They can download the app.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to bring up to the app. Yeah. Like, I didn't get a chance to even use the app. You sent me the app. I've been really busy, really, really busy. But let's talk about the app. Like, what does the app entail?
So for me, one of the things I want to do is build a community. We have several social media sites, as you're well aware, and everybody utilizes them for various reasons, but I wanted one that was just focused on what you need, right? Positive thoughts, positive, messages. And you go there, you might get an ebook that I might write, right? Only if you get the app, you can get the ebook or whatever, and things like that, just to keep people inspired, motivated, and uplifted. Something where they could just disconnect from the world, or, the regular social medias for a minute and be like, I need something. So the team is working on, it's still a work in progress. We got probably one more thing that we got to do. We got to do the scheduling part of getting the app and getting the app on the two Play stores, Google and Apple as well. But, I wanted to build a community just where people could come, disconnect from the world, be like, I just need positive affirmations. I need, things to keep them in a different mindset. Because I believe a lot of the challenge that we have is just about mindset.
It is, yeah. That's dope, man. Like, the steps that you went through to get to that point is beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, I want to talk about, how did you get from Brooklyn to San Diego? Because that's one part of the world to another part of the world. Like, I mean, Brooklyn has its beauty, but San Diego is a whole other landscape.
So 4 years out of the military. Go back home to Brooklyn, living with my mother. When you get out the military, they say, oh, you're going to, honorable discharge, you're going to be fine. You're going to do well. You're going to get a job. Mind you, I had my two oldest sons at the time, and get out, apply for some jobs. And last time I checked, $15 an hour don't go far. It's not a lot of money. After a year, I had saved money while, was over in Desert Storm and the war, but saved money and did well, whatever. But I partied, I hung out. I remember it was one night, me and my good friend, we were hanging out, and I was just like, I told him, I was like, I'm done, man. Like, I just didn't, we was in a club when I said this. I said, I'm done. He was like, man, get out of here. You all right, man. He sent one of his friends over. I was like, I wasn't in the mood for nobody that night. I didn't want to be bothered. That next day, I had already had connections in San Diego. And I had them lined up already. And next day, I got on a Greyhound bus and I went to San Diego.
Wow, how long was that bus ride? Jeez.
3 days.
3 days. Oh my God.
I met an ex-con that was up for murder. I ain't lying to you. I met a drug addict. Well, he was reformed.
Okay.
I mean, it was some interesting conversations on that bus.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow.
But got to San Diego, and it wasn't easy because you're coming from a New York state of mind. Where buses are 24 hours, trains 24 hours. You're going to San Diego. Buses on a time limit.
Everything is.
But I didn't have a problem grinding. When I got there, got a job at Digital Equipment, met a bunch of young engineers that was repairing printers, and this printers, the big dot matrix printers and all that stuff for a corporation. They was doing that. I'm seeing how these guys, and I got to know them. They invited me out to their house. I was like, man, you guys are living good. Cars, I
Yeah.
mean, company cars and all this. And I said, I want that. And I remember talking to the director. I said, what do I need to do? I worked in the logistics department.
Yeah.
He's like, Toe, go to school and get your degree. That next day, went down to San Diego State, applied just like that, got in there.
Yeah.
And that started my journey, man.
Wow. I have a similar story too. But like I was bike riding with one of my buddies and he's also working from home. Same thing. Like, I'm like, how do you get this? Like, how did you get this? He's working for a company. He living in New York, working for a company in California. How did you get this? He was like, he told me this course. I signed up like a month later. And I was like, all right, now up in the ground running, software development. And I was like, wow, it's sometimes I take that conversation. Sometimes I take that exposure therapy. I call it exposure therapy. You being exposed to something, now you know you want more when you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it's that and having the capability to change your mind and fix your mindset. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like, I knew I couldn't stay in New York and go to school and do the things that I need to do to excel.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't. It was too many
So
distractions.
I compare it to like a plant. So like, if you need to be a certain plant, you have to be in the right environment with the right soil. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be in the sand and grow a rose from the sand. You have to be in the right environment. And I guess New York was your environment. You had to go to San Diego to grow and become who you started to become.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel the same way about me moving to Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way about that. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think if you don't, a good friend of mine, he told me the same guy I was out with.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the change and he saw the progress in my life and things I was accomplishing. He's like, man. And we would connect at least once a year and go do a little boys trip or whatever. And I was like, just leave. Like, I don't know why people stay in misery. Like, just leave. And he used to always say, Tank, everybody don't have a mindset. Like, I was like, yeah, but you can fix your mindset. Your mind is not fixed to be the same.
No.
It's not.
No, we're not
it's a
birds.
Muscle.
Yeah, we're not birds. We're not gorillas. We're not
right.
Like every other species got to be the same thing when they were born until they die.
Exactly. We're not like that. So he used to tell me that, and I was like, I can't. No, and at one time I was like, he has a way to try to convince me of certain things.
Yeah,
I'm like, maybe you're right, but nah, the hood is not the place. There is better, and you have to understand and see that. But there are some people that need someone to pull them. They need that extra. And then there's something that, you just can't save everybody.
I was about to ask you, have you been in a position where you're pulling somebody and you realize it's an immovable object, like they're not moving? It's like you pulling a building. You had a Kia Soul try to pull a building that's like 20 stories.
Yes.
It's not going away. You're about to blow your engine out. Yeah.
This happened in corporate America when I started leading engineers.
Yeah.
I had this one engineer and one of the most stubborn guys known to man. Borderline disrespectful.
Wow.
Right? Until we met afterward. I said, look, don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Yeah.
I said, I'm trying to handle this very professional with you. And you're challenging me in the corporate realm. I don't want to step outside of these corporate realms with you. So how do you want to handle this? So we had to have a talk outside. Because, inside the corporation, we get confined to the walls, right? I said, we got this off the books, and we can use it. And he was one of those guys like, yeah. I was like, okay. Okay. It's like, all right. What's crazy is after that conversation, he had to be put on a performance improvement plan. He stayed tight with it. He did everything. He executed very well, very well. But he just wasn't a fit.
Yeah.
He lived in Chicago. Got with management. I was like, he's not a fit. He was like, well, you got to let him go. I was like, all right. Fly up to Chicago. Have the conversation. He's like, I kind of figured that, Toby. And he walked out. Fast forward, probably 6 years later. My president at that time, he called me on the phone and he said, do you know that guy murdered his roommate.
What?
That's how like this guy, I think if I didn't take him outside the corporate realm, he would have tried to continuously try to challenge me inside
Yeah.
of the corporate realm. And that's why I had to have that conversation. I didn't care how
Wow.
it went outside of the corporate realm. I just
Yeah.
didn't want it to happen behind there or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like one of those guys. He just, I mean, thought he was immovable.
Mm.
Toughest challenge. But he knew when I had that, going back to when I told him he had to be let go, he's like, Toby, I knew, man. And he apologized. He was like, I didn't mean to be an ass.
Yeah.
Give my language, but
Good.
he was like, I didn't mean to do that, but,
He is who he is. That's how you wired.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
And he was big guy. Like if you saw him, you know who he remind you of? Djokovic.
Oh, wow.
I promise you. If I showed you a picture, you'd be like, you're right.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But that was probably the toughest challenge, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah, other than that, most people, they listen.
Yeah.
Most people want advice. They just don't want to challenge themselves.
Yeah. I think most people want advice, but they don't want to execute the advice that was given to them.
Exactly. They still want to just believe what they want to believe.
Yeah.
And, they want to just, I just can't believe that's the right way. I can't believe that's the right way. I know I've been, all right, let me show you.
Yeah.
And you just got to convince them.
So how would you convince somebody that they need the price principle?
Everything in life has a value.
Mm-hmm.
Assess value, address value, announce value. Everything has a value. There's something that when I talk to people about what they value, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I identify how we're going to connect. Whatever it is that they value, whatever, in their life, I'm going to, that 30 minutes to an hour where I assess if I'm a good fit for them and if they're a good fit for me, is where I speak with them about that.
Mm.
And I identify what is it that they're trying to do, one, right? Where are they stuck in their life? Understand a little bit about their background, ask some key questions.
Yeah. So you just meet everybody on interview mode, like you about to hire somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I think that's how our conversation.
That's how I start.
I mean, interview for a job.
I mean, but I really sincerely want to get to know you. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole part of getting to know somebody, right? That's why we're here. But really, everything has a value. So you identify what they value. Once they if they're coming to me, they have something that they are trying to get to.
Yeah.
There's some challenges. Identify those challenges and roadblocks. And if they come, they know it's a value. Whatever it is they're trying to get, it's a value of them. So they want to get there. And they want to figure out, how do I pay that price? I'm chasing my tail, whatever it is, some goal. How many, I know some.
Yeah.
Very smart people, master's degrees, money. Oh, I want to get out of this corporate world. I just got this idea. I just don't know what to do.
Man, I know a plethora of people like that.
It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us that sit in the corporate realm, go to work every day, bust our butts, know that we are better than probably 80% of the workforce there, some number, but we're scared to go after what it is we want, that new position, or make a change. Like, if you're not being respected at the corporation, leave.
Yeah.
There's better out there for you.
People don't believe it.
They don't believe in themselves. No. So again, everything has a value. Is what you desire of value to you?
It's to me, but for some people, it's not.
My thing is, if they're coming to me, they value something. And I want to get to what it is that they value and help them implement that price framework for them to get out of it. Help them build kind of. And that 12 weeks, it's rigorous. They're going to do it. That 12 weeks, if I had to break the 3 months down, changing your mindset is probably the toughest. That's the first 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Second 12 weeks, mastering execution, because that's where a lot of us fell.
Yes.
That's where a lot of us fell. That's probably the toughest part, because now you got to do stuff. And this is where you get stagnant about making a decision. Oh, you start overthinking things. Then you're looking at something else, comparing yourself to somebody else. You make every excuse when it's time to execute. Sometimes you just got to go.
Got to go.
That is, I mean,
gas
so,
to the pedal and just go.
And once they realize you don't have to take monumental steps. Like, I told you I had a restaurant. I'm not a chef, as you know.
Yeah.
But my goal was, and let me tell you why I opened it. I never could get a job growing up in New York. All of my friends used to get jobs at Burger King, McDonald's, White Castle. I could never get a job at these places. And I was like, man. But when living in California, the seafood tacos was very popular out there. Shrimp tacos, barbecue shrimp taco. I said, we don't have that in Atlanta. This was back in 2007. I said, I'm going to do it.
Wow.
You know, first part of price, educate.
Mm-hmm.
Educated myself, did everything I had to do. Finally, long story short, got the building, made sure the building was a former office.
Wow.
But my price point getting in, the owner was like, look, whatever you make it in, if you make it into a restaurant, even better. So I had to do the hood and had to do all this, design work. But I did my homework and I circumvented I figured out a lot of ways to get equipment cheaper, source equipment cheaper, and did all my due diligence. But it took me 8 months before those doors opened.
Ooh.
So imagine that. You open up a restaurant, right? And most people want it.
Yeah.
Every day it was something different, but I learned through it. I got an ebook now for that, like opening up a restaurant, with a streamlined budget. I did it. Successful restaurant, 7 years strong.
That's really good. 7 years for
But, and I came to a point where I had to make a decision, so I sold it turnkey. But the thing is, I executed using the price principles. I was persistent. Resilience was hard. I don't care what you go through in life. Resilience, being resilient is one of the hardest things because you're going to have setbacks, challenges, and various obstacles that's going to come before you.
Yeah.
Every day you got to walk through something. Resilience is tough. Integrity wasn't hard because, I did things at par and, you can't open up a restaurant with certain codes and licensing and everything like that. And I was consistent. Every day I did something. Every day. Even tearing down. I would put on my work stuff, tear down walls, get it ready for the contractors. Every day. Consistency. And then education. I learned so much. I mean, oh man, even learned how to cook better. My chefs taught me how to cook.
So you make the best tacos?
No, I would say she does. Not me. But.
So actually, would you open another restaurant or you done?
You know what? We met with a gentleman yesterday. He asked me the same thing. And I was like, I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
Considering the times and people just don't value work. It's hard to find. And it's a consistent theme in Atlanta. You'll find, I'm sure you've experienced it. You go to a restaurant and you're not getting the service you want.
No, but you got paid a gratuity like you got the service you want.
Oh my God. It's already on there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I wouldn't. I think that was a, moment in time that, similar to the young fella that was here before, Brandon, I felt I had to do everything, because I was always stuck with just being an entrepreneur and wanting to grab onto something and do something. But my workers used to call me the mayor because every time people came in the restaurant, especially when it was crowded, I'm always out there talking to everybody. And it wasn't so much that it was good that I was providing a good service and good food, but it just felt good. It felt purposeful, right? Talking to people, and you'll hear about people's story. I had one lady, her family lived in a hotel down the block, and she only got paid every 2 weeks, and she told me a story. And I felt bad for her, and I used to give her food. I was like, here, give it. But she would come back and give me money anyway. She was like, nope, I want to support you. I want you to be successful. So you would hear all types of stories. Another young fella, he would come and wash everybody's cars, and he just worked for food. You meet, and when I say you meet, I've met during that time so many people, like just different struggles, and it just makes you want to live a purposeful life, and give back in some type of way. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the restaurant, but I wouldn't do it again to answer.
Like in seeing the stuff that you say you just saw, those are also some lessons that we could take away from what other people go through. Yeah. And one thing in your book that I also implemented, like right after reading it, was I celebrate the small stuff. It maybe seems small, but to celebrate the small stuff and just enjoy the journey along the way.
LaRon, I was terrible at that.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I would do? As soon as something is done, I'm thinking about the next thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even celebrate I remember somebody had to tell me, stop. Stop. Celebrate it. This is big for you. You just did this. You just did this. Celebrate it. You should feel good.
Yeah.
You know, and it was tough. And I realized, celebrate it. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, stop thinking, you know.
The next one. You know why I didn't celebrate it, honestly? Because I felt like mentally, I was already at that position before I got there. So when I got there, I'm like, all right, I'm expected to be here. So that's why I didn't celebrate it. Like, for example, and my wife was right there. She didn't want me to do this. I hit 40,000 followers on Instagram. And I was like, oh, I should do a little 40K balloon, photo shoot. She was like, nah, you can't do that. I'm like, wow, I can't get the balloons? Like, why can't I get the balloons like everybody else do it? But I couldn't. So I just be able to post like, thank you for, the followers. But I couldn't do the balloon photo shoot though. So she stopped me from that.
But those are monumental moments that, and I think we take it for granted, especially when you work hard at something and you're purposeful about it and you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
I was terrible at it. That's why I had to read that. I promise you, if I show you, and one day I will show you the old transcript of the first book.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't lessons. It was more about, I did this. It was just me talking about me, but not teaching you anything.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, nobody,
Yeah, I think somebody said like nobody care about you.
Nobody really don't care. What can you teach me, right? What can I get from you, right? And I was like, nah.
That's why I said I did enjoy it about the book because you was talking to the reader and helping the reader get to the next step and next step and next step, and you didn't make it about yourself, and that's why I asked you to come on so we could know about you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why I say we could know about Toby because Toby got a great story. I mean, from Brooklyn to San Diego.
Brooklyn. Well, it was a couple of stops. So Brooklyn. San Diego, Philly, DC, then Atlanta.
Wow. Oh, like that's major cities. What was your favorite city?
Philly.
Philly?
Oh, I love Philly.
I don't like Philly. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
I don't like Philly.
How do you like Philly? I took her there for a surprise birthday, and
dope.
Man, had you been to Philly before?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. Real quick story. We stayed at the JW downtown, and so I took a Major, the artist. He was playing at the City Winery, so that was one of her favorite artists. Booked that.
Nice.
And then what's the other guy's name? Smokey Norfolk. Okay, he was playing that gospel artist.
Okay.
What? Smokey Norfolk, right? He was playing at City Winery the 2 days later. So I booked us both seats.
Nice.
So we walk out of the hotel and we're about to go to dinner and then to Smokey's concert.
Yeah.
We sat outside waiting for the Uber. Guess who's standing outside?
Smokey.
But look how she says it to me. Babe, there goes Smokey. Smokey who? Smokey from Fridays? I'm not lying to you. He was standing like literally right there. I said, Smokey who? Man, it was him, and he took a picture with her. It was such a humbling experience, but great experience we had. We're big speakeasy fans, and we went and visited quite a few speakeasy. I love Philly, man. The restaurant scene up there is just wonderful.
That's so dope.
Yeah. You let me know when you want to go. Yeah, you and your wife, y'all come up there with us.
Don't invite us. She definitely gonna start looking at Delta flights and trying to be there tomorrow.
Look, y'all might be in 2026 because our schedule is loaded.
Yeah, we try to work the travel with the schedule, so we don't make it work.
There you go. There you go. Look, just stay out of those casinos.
Oh, no, that's part of the travel. That's part of it. It's like, if you drive an EV, you got to look for charges on the route. When we travel, I got to look for casinos on the route. That's how much
I don't know if we shared that with your wife, the casino story. Well, my casino.
No, I didn't tell her that. You can tell her real
so
quick.
I don't, he was telling me, that you guys enjoy the, blackjack?
Blackjack. Yeah, we bought appliances off of blackjack. So that's
right.
To tell you how good we do.
All I spend is $20. That's it. I lost. I'm done. I just feel I work too hard.
It's entertainment. It's like going to the movies.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think if I have a vice. I don't think I have no vices.
You gotta enjoy the vices. You gotta put that in part 2 of the book.
Well, so if you think about talking about part 2, there will be a revision to this.
Yeah.
But if you think about the price principle framework, and me and Flowers talked about this, where we want to come up with the price principle relationship version. So think about it from a relationship, how you can break down price, right?
Yeah.
Persistence,
Mhm.
right? Resilient. You got to be resilient,
Yeah, you do. You definitely
right?
do. Yeah.
Integrity, communication,
Yes, communication is key.
and emotional.
Oh, so you can change the E up.
I mean, I got plenty.
Yeah.
It's going to be, but, one of the things that I feel that I know my experiences compiled with hers and then ours together, and just that voice to the world to educate people, because
Yeah.
nowadays relationships, oh man, you see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty dangerous out there. So
Nah, you gotta shed some light to this nice of relationship. I don't know. That's a dope idea.
yeah,
The relationship price principle. Yeah.
relationship edition.
Yeah. So you heard it first here on Wednesday Lessons.
You heard it first.
Yeah, your Kim was right there.
Oh.
Oh man. That's dope.
It's being purposeful.
Yeah.
If I could leave a legacy in that manner and know that people receive it, just one person.
Mhm.
And I'm just humbled when you say, I read your book, and just to hear that, man, I can't thank you enough. And I really appreciate it. Honestly.
Yeah, no, like I said, we bought 2 copies and we bought copies for everybody here. We was like, yo, you gotta check this book out.
That's
He's gonna be
awesome,
here
man.
to put a face to the book. Even got your picture on there. Like nobody like this is
That's awesome.
yeah. So that's
That's
why I
awesome.
want to just have you come here and give you your flowers and have this moment, have this conversation
Thank you,
with
man.
you.
Thank you, man. It's the start
Yeah.
of the start of many.
Yes.
A lot more to come. Trust me.
Yes,
Trust me.
yes,
And I'll
yes.
make sure you get every first run of everything.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. So let people know where they can find Toby Daniels.
Toby Daniel on LinkedIn. The Price Principle, all social media platforms, Instagram, X, Facebook. They'll launch this week. I promise you.
Okay.
But you can search The Price Principle. You'll see what comes up. The book you can find on Amazon, hard copy, paperback, Kindle. Kindle, you get it for free if you're an Amazon Prime member.
Okay, and I'll also say this. For channel members, for people part of the membership, we're doing a giveaway. We're going to give away one of the books to one of the members. We're going to probably do it. I'm not sure what day we're going to do it, but just become a member. So you want to win a copy of the book. You want to sign it?
Yeah, I'll sign it. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So you have a signed copy of the book. So that you might have to be a premium member for that because it's never signed. So it's going to be worth a lot of money. There you go. Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Oh, man, thank you. I knew it was a reason why I went to Cigar Cellar.
Yes, there you go. Cigar Cellar get a shout out too. So
We got to give them a shot. Look, we got to hit there one day. I got a free lunch card. So.
Oh, you got one of those? Yeah,
Yeah.
I got those too. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do that. But thank you again, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you for
being
coming,
here.
man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about wins and lessons. Wins and lessons. Oh. All I do is win or it's a lesson. I can take a loss if I learn from it. And I feel like a boss, only right I go in. I'm just thanking God for all his blessings. Cause all I do is win or it's